The 8 o'clock advisory just came in, and Aaron has weakened further. I'll show you what difference that will make for us.
And this morning, mandatory evacuations underway for people on the Outer Banks before the worst of Aaron arrives. How some are bracing for the impacts of the storm.
And stabbing in Fayetteville, one person is dead, and the WRAL breaking news tracker is looking into what led up to this. Flood risks and mandatory evacuation orders today in the Outer Banks as Hurricane Aaron churns in the Atlantic Ocean. Thanks for joining us. I'm Laura Levine in for Ken Smith.
And I'm Michelle McConaughey. Let's get right back over to meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner showing us exactly where Aaron is right now.
It's just north of the Bahamas, and it's still moving to the north and west. It'll make that north turn in the next day or so. The big thing that came out of the 8 a.m. advisory is the winds have slowed down a little bit more, went from 115 to 110. That takes it down to a Category 2 storm, but it's likely to fluctuate between Category 2 and Category 3 over the next several days as it travels northward. It hasn't slowed down in terms of its forward motion, still moving northwest at 7. That's pretty slow for a tropical system, and that's not what we want to see. We would like to see this thing pick up in speed and move on by. We see fewer impacts the less time it spends in one particular area. It is 720 miles southeast of Cape Hatteras right now, and you can see it continues to move northward, again bouncing between Cat 2 and Cat 3. It's not likely to make landfall, but we will see some heavy surf, we'll see some storm surge, we'll see some wind, all that will cause some damage and issues for folks along the Outer Banks. Mainly for our southern beaches, it's rip current danger. That was a real problem yesterday. That will continue for the next few days. More about that in just a few minutes. Durham this morning looking gray. I found some sprinkles on the camera in Sanford just a little bit ago. You could run into some of that this morning. 71 is our temperature. A small chance of a sprinkle this morning, a better chance of just an isolated thunderstorm in our eastern counties for later on this afternoon. With the clouds today, it stays much cooler. High temperatures will be in the low 80s, and I'll show you a pretty cool 7-day forecast coming up. Laura?
Taking a live look at the roads this morning at I-40 at Lake Wheeler Road. You can see traffic beginning to build up here across the triangle. In Wake County, we are monitoring a serious crash on Falls of Neuse Road. This happened a little while ago where we're seeing a lot of backup here and delays. Falls of Neuse, that's the westbound lanes near Old Falls of Neuse Road. So you really want to be mindful of that if you're traveling in the area. Let's take a look at some drive times this morning as we are seeing some other early morning crashes clear. We're seeing about a 10-minute delay if you're traveling from Wake Forest, a 14-minute delay if you're traveling from Nightdale, 7 minutes from Apex. Over in Durham, we're seeing better conditions compared to Wake County, that is, but still a 13-minute delay if you're traveling southbound from Infinity Road. Of course, if you're heading out on the roads this morning, be sure to tune us in at 101.5 HD3.
All right, thank you, Laura. A new round of mandatory evacuations on the Outer Banks in effect right now. Yesterday, visitors were asked to leave Hatteras Island and Ocracoke Island, and today, permanent residents are being told to evacuate. Despite this, people that we spoke with on the island say they are not leaving. They plan to take precautions and ride out the storm from home.
The real problem is that you're not going to be able to get out, so you have to be able to survive for a few days on your own with what you have. I mean, you may not be able to get down the street.
And while Hatteras and Ocracoke are the only places currently under evacuation orders, officials are encouraging people along the coast to keep an eye on the storm. And whether you are at home or headed to the coast, receive alerts when the waves rise up or the wind whips up in the WRAL weather app. Select your location, type the type of alert you want to get so you can be prepared.
Now to breaking news. A person is dead after being stabbed here in Fayetteville. This happened late last night on Rose Hill Road in the northern part of the city. Allie Catlabar is at the Fayetteville Police Department in the WRAL breaking news tracker. Allie, police believe that the people involved knew each other.
Yes, Lauren, police say that a fight led to a person stabbing and killing their family member. This is video from the WRAL breaking news tracker around 3 a.m. This is the house where officers found a person stabbed. It happened around 11 last night. First responders tried to save the person, but the victim died on the scene. Again, a fight between two family members leading to this stabbing, and the man, a person, we're not sure who died. We're working to find out if there were any arrests made, the identities of the people involved, and what led up to this stabbing. Reporting in Fayetteville, Allie Cadlabar, WRAL News.
Breaking news, a Wilson man is charged with murder after a shooting that killed a man. This morning, police announced the arrest of 25-year-old Anthony Atkinson. He is charged with shooting and killing 34-year-old Daryl Barnes III. The shooting happened just before 6:30 last night on Chase Road. Atkinson is being held without bond.
Wendell police are investigating after officers were involved in a chase overnight. A car that had major damage was being towed away when the WRAL breaking news tracker arrived at Wendell Boulevard. Officers say it happened near the Food Lion and that the suspect ran off after the chase. We're still working to learn more about what caused the chase and if there were any injuries.
We are less than a week away from the start of a new school year in Wake County, and today school leaders have student safety on their minds. WRAL's Kelsey Coffey is live in Cary, and Kelsey, the district considering how to address a number of different emergency situations today.
Yes, Michelle, they are. And tonight, school leaders will meet here at the district headquarters. They're going to talk about changes to emergency response protocols at your child's school. So this is going to be the last time that these leaders will meet ahead of the first day of school next week. This change could mean new training and drills for students, school employees, and some emergency responders. This policy comes from the I Love You Guys Foundation. It sets 5 standards for emergencies: hold, secure, lock down, evacuate, and shelter. Wake schools already had similar protocols in place, except the hold measure is new. Under both hold and secure, classes go on as usual, but school doors stay locked. WRAL education insider Emily Walkenhorst says this change could improve their current protocol.
One thing that they do think is different about this standard response protocol is that it's more flexible. It gives them a little bit more clarity when communicating during an emergency.
Now, the school system would not be paying the foundation for their protocol, but they're going to make this final decision tonight at 5:30. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News. I'm in Cary.
Today, crews will get back to work trying to clean up this major train derailment in Halifax County. It's forcing cancellations for rail routes up and down the East Coast. Sky 5 video from yesterday shows a pileup of CSX train cars filled with coal. All Amtrak routes from Miami to New York were canceled yesterday, including routes in and out of Raleigh. An Amtrak spokesperson says that they are working with customers who face cancellations. We still don't know when service will be restored. We did ask CSX a number of questions about what caused this. The spokesperson says that this is still under investigation.
A damaged business at the Eastgate Shopping Center will reopen today. Chantal's flooding last month led to it closing. Google Huff Bakery is scheduled to open at 8 o'clock this morning, so just about 8 minutes ago they should have opened their doors. The owners tell WRAL the process of reopening was not easy, but the staff is excited to welcome customers back. Students say the past few weeks of Eastgate being closed has been a big inconvenience for the community.
It's just really difficult. Not a lot of things were open. You couldn't get around. You couldn't do anything. A lot of people were kind of stuck in their homes. I just know that a big issue was not exactly knowing that this was going to happen. They say flash flood. A lot of the times it's typically a little bit of rain, but this was just absolutely decimated the plaza.
And Trader Joe's reopened yesterday, and with Google Huff's reopening today, 5 businesses will now be back open. There are still over a dozen closed, though.
Fayetteville police have released the name of the man killed in an over-the-weekend shooting. Police say 29-year-old Wesley Wilson was killed in the shooting Sunday night on Chinook Drive near South Raleigh Road. 2 other people were also shot. They were taken to the hospital and are expected to recover.
Police in Raleigh say road rage led to a crash on Lewisburg Road. 31-year-old Javier Alarcon and 51-year-old Ronald Dingle are each facing charges after the Sunday crash. The charges include assault and child endangerment. Officers say they found Alarcon holding a gun and yelling at Dingle. Both men suffered minor injuries.
The Durham City Council has unanimously approved new plans to redevelop Northgate Mall. The council has been working on a plan for several years now. Some ideas for the location include new retail stores and affordable housing. The site has sat vacant for years. Today is the first chance to weigh in on a new project near RDU. The Airport Authority wants to build a recreation and wellness destination on 136 acres of airport land. The plot of land used to be part of Lake Crabtree Park. There will be 3 public workshops. The meeting gets started at 4 p.m. at the Cary Senior Center.
Happening today, Wake County Public Health offering families and students up to date, making sure they're up to date on their vaccines. The department is hosting a back-to-school vaccine clinic for rising kindergarten, 7th, and 12th grade students. Today's clinic will be at the Southern Regional Center in Fuquay Arena. That'll be from 5:30 to 7:30. It's one of several clinics Wake County Public Health is hosting, and the next one will be on September 2nd in Wake Forest. And WRAL has you covered for the start of the new school year. Find out how to transition your kids back into a sleep routine, the rules of the road around school buses, and so much more. It's all on WRAL.com. Just search Back to School.
Your time now is 8:10. Boat explosion. Nobody was hurt after a boat blew up while it was leaving the Baltimore harbor. The damage left behind that investigators are looking into.
And a few sprinkles out there in Sanford. Take a look. You can see the water on the camera lens. We'll talk about what this pattern is, why it keeps our temperatures cooler, and when you could see some rain coming up.
And Aaron's impacts. People trying to leave the Outer Banks to avoid the possible floods that storm could bring. What people need to know as they move inland.
8:14, taking a live look at Apex right now. Gray skies. There are a few cameras that are showing a little bit of drizzle. It's not very widespread, but don't be surprised if you run into that. We're looking at what we call the wedge pattern. We're going to talk more about that and how long it may stick around coming up. But typically we'll see just a few sprinkles, and then potentially this afternoon, if we see a few breaks in the clouds, we could see some of our eastern counties showing up with a thunderstorm or two. Right now it's 68 in Roxborough, 73 in Fayetteville, 70 in Garner, 71 in Cary. With the cloud cover that comes with this pattern, it does keep our temperatures cooler, so we'll hold it in the 70s really all the way until lunchtime and only climb into the low 80s for this afternoon. Coming up, meteorologist Chris Michaels is going to talk more about Aaron and why it continues to get bigger and bigger.
And happening here in the WRAL Traffic Center, we're monitoring a new crash that just popped up here in Raleigh at Gorman Street. The southbound lanes here at Tryon Road blocked off because of just a minor incident there that we're monitoring, working to gather more information about that. We're also tracking this crash that we have been monitoring for quite some time now, Falls of Neuse Road at the westbound lanes near Old Falls of Neuse. You can see still a lot of red on the map. So if you're heading out on the roads, be sure to tune us in at 101.5 HD3.
As we're tracking, Aaron, right now, the effects that we'll be seeing on our coastal areas, I thought I'd bring up a live camera of Hatteras, and the reason being, within the past 15 minutes, evacuations began there on Hatteras Island. This is, of course, ahead of the expected storm surge, the flooding we could see as well from this. And I know you're looking at it wondering, well, it's a beautiful blue sky. What a wonderful Tuesday morning. Well, again, you don't want to be misled there. This is why people out in that area say you don't want to be out in the water, especially as you see the waves getting a little more aggressive out there. All throughout the morning, we're going to be tracking Hurricane Aaron's effects as it relates to the eastern coast. Make sure you stay with us here on WRAL News. We will keep you informed.
All right, thanks, Chris. Also, the Cape Lookout National Seashore will be closed today, and the campsite, visitor center, and lighthouse, they close at noon. Express ferry service from Beaufort and Harkers Island is canceled tomorrow through Friday. And Hurricane Aaron may not be a Category 5 storm anymore, but it is still huge. Meteorologist Chris Michaels shows us the specific process that's making Aaron get so big, Chris.
Yeah, so this is something that's called an eye wall replacement cycle, and it's kind of like a figure skater. When they bring their arms in, they spin really fast, but in order to keep spinning, they have to let their arms out. Thing is, they move a little more slowly. So that's what this is all about. It was a Cat 5 on Saturday, but in order to maintain itself, it has to spread that energy outward, and it does so through these cycles. So this was yesterday morning, the first step, and you see that neatly defined eye that then collapses. The satellite imagery doesn't really show it there a couple hours later, but as it does so, the energy moves outward, and the storm gets a lot bigger. In fact, as we head into Wednesday and into Thursday, this storm could have tropical storm force wind gusts about 700 miles from west to east. You see that closer to our coast and then close to Bermuda as well. So a very big storm regardless of the category. Meanwhile, this far inland, we're not expecting any major issues. It may get a little breezier at times than your average August day heading into Thursday.
Thank you. And you can always track storms and hurricanes across the Atlantic with the WRAL weather app. Zoom in, find the day-by-day forecast, location, and strength of the storm. Well, there appears to be progress in negotiations to end the war between Russia and Ukraine. President Donald Trump and Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky met at the White House yesterday alongside other European leaders. The conversations largely focused on strong security guarantees in any sort of post-war agreement. European leaders were on the same page about trying to protect Ukraine's interests. The meeting was briefly put on pause as Trump spoke with Putin over the phone. Germany's chancellor confirmed that Putin agreed to meet with Zelensky in 2 weeks. Ukrainians in the Carolinas gathered in Chapel Hill as they prepare for the Ukrainian Independence Day celebration this weekend. The president of the group is who we spoke with, and she told us that Saturday's celebration comes at a critical time as world leaders try to end Russia's invasion. She has family living in Ukraine, and she hopes the talks will bring some normalcy back.
I am hopeful that today's conversation with President Zelensky of Ukraine and European leaders will bring some results, and we'll have to wait and see. But again, so far, Russia has not kept their word. No ceasefire, no peace agreement.
The Ukrainian Independence Day Festival is happening from 3 to 6 Saturday afternoon on Ridge Road in Raleigh.
Nobody was hurt in an apparent explosion on a ship in Baltimore Harbor. Video captured smoke rising from a ship near the former Francis Scott Key Bridge site. It was heading out of the harbor last night carrying coal. Officials say the boat had 23 people on board. They say the damage to the ship was consistent with an explosion. They are looking into what may have caused that. And people who need to update their voter registration are beginning to get letters from the State Board of Elections. This stems from a lawsuit from the Trump administration challenging North Carolina's voter registration rules. Incomplete registrations were at the center of state Supreme Court race. Republican candidate Jefferson Griffin tried to throw out tens of thousands of ballots from last year's election. More than 80,000 people will have to update their registration. All right, turning to weather now, our big story of the day. Meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner tracking Aaron, and when it gets a little bit closer to us.
Looking at mostly a Wednesday night, Thursday event for us. We take a look at where the storm is right now. It's starting to pull away from the Bahamas, but there's still some pretty heavy rain bands that are affecting those islands there. They were anticipating some flooding potential, and we haven't seen any video out of the Bahamas, but we may, depending on how much damage was done. The storm looks a little more ragged than it did yesterday. Yesterday, it had winds at 140 miles per hour. It's down to 110, so that's a significant weakening of the storm. That's great news. It is moving northwest at 7, which is slow. We would really like to see it moving a little faster. The faster it moves, the fewer impacts it leaves behind. So likely to be between Cat 2 and Cat 3 as it moves off the coast of North Carolina. As Chris just explained, it is going to be a very wide storm, and one of those reasons is because it is moving so slowly, so it will have some impacts on our coastline. Already yesterday at Carolina Beach and Wrightsville Beach, they had to pull a lot of people out of the water due to rip current danger. So our southern coastline, it's mainly going to be sort of an ocean erosion and rip current danger issue, but our outer banks are where we'll see the biggest impacts. Let's watch that storm as it moves northward. We'll pause it Wednesday at noon, which is still south of North Carolina, almost off the coast of Georgia. By the time we get to early on Thursday, I should say at lunchtime, it's sitting right off of Cape Hatteras, about 200 miles from Cape Hatteras to the center of the storm. But of course, we are going to see rain bands. We're going to see some strong winds. We'll see ocean overwash. We'll see some coastal flooding. We'll see storm surge. Let's start with a tropical storm watch for the Outer Banks all the way down to about Atlantic Beach, and that's where we'll end up seeing winds gusting 40 to 60 miles per hour. You can see that. This is a look at the potential peak wind gusts. Ocracoke and Kitty Hawk 55 to 60. Wilmington and Beaufort 35 to 40. Around here, we'll probably keep it somewhere between 20 and 30 to 35 miles per hour. Storm surge watch. Could see 2 to 4 feet of storm surge. That could cause some major damage. High surf advisory also up and down the Baltimore bulk of the coast. So impacts likely to be rip current danger, heavy surf, beach erosion, storm surge. Part of Highway 12 could become impassable, and those tropical storm force gusts for us here on Thursday, 15 to 25 mile per hour winds for most of us. Our eastern counties could be around 25 to 35. I'll look at some of the impacts for us tomorrow. We're not likely to see much rain. It'll be breezy. Behind the system, it could be a little less humid as it begins to pull away. With our cloud cover, we're seeing cool temperatures today, and our wedge pattern is keeping us cool. Also, we'll explain that coming up in just a little bit. Laura?
Elizabeth, taking a live look at the road this morning. I-40 at Lake Wheeler Road is slow moving. Traffic really beginning to pick up in this area. Mind you, we're also following a crash here on Gorman Street, the southbound lanes at Tryon Road. And people are on the scene right now. First responders are there now working to clear that scene. We also have that crash on near Falls of Neuse Road, near Old Falls of Neuse Road. That is still major backups and delays. We're seeing a whole lot of red on the map here. So if you're traveling in that area, just be mindful of that. Give yourself some extra time. The drive times heading into the capital city that we've been tracking as well. Right now, we are seeing about a 15-minute delay traveling from Wake Forest, and that's what we're monitoring at this time. Be sure to tune us in on the radio at 101.5 HD3.
All right, thank you, Laura. Search for drivers. Wake County Schools stepping up its game to make sure kids have reliable ways to get to school. We'll break down the numbers. Also, back to school price tags, tariffs driving costs higher. 5 on your side's Keely Arthur shows you how to get creative to save money.
As you get into your car, tune to WRAL News Plus on your radio. In Raleigh on 99.3 FM. In Durham, 96.5 FM. And everywhere on 101.5 HD3.
Good morning. Happy Tuesday. Time now is 8:26. I'm Michelle McConaughey. All eyes on Hurricane Erin right now. Meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner following its track in the WRAL Severe Weather Center.
Yeah, we take a look right now at what's happening here. Here in Sanford, we've had a few sprinkles. We have gray skies. We have a pattern called the wedge, and that tends to bring us a little bit of light rain early on. Later this afternoon, we may see a few peaks of sunshine, and our eastern counties could end up with a small chance of thunderstorms. Dog walking forecast. It feels pretty comfortable this morning. Temperatures have been in the low to mid 70s, and will be much cooler this afternoon with highs in the low 80s. We're looking at impacts here from Erin. Just some breezy conditions will be about it, and that'll happen mainly Thursday. Erin?
Happening here in the WRAL Traffic Center, we are monitoring a couple of crashes here. Starting here, this is a new one. Rock Quarry Road, the northbound lanes, there's a minor incident there. You can see not really impacting traffic too much in that area, but this is a major problem. Falls of Neuse Road that we're checking out. Although this is another one, Gorman Street, southbound lanes of Tryon Road. And of course, there is the other incident at Falls of Neuse that's been underway for over an hour now. Leaving you here with this live look at I-40 at Lake Wheeler Road. You can see traffic is beginning to pick up. Be sure to tune us in on the road at 101.5 HD3.
Thanks, Laura. This morning, mandatory evacuations are underway for permanent residents in Hatteras and Ocracoke Islands. Island visitors were asked to leave yesterday morning. Dare County under a state of emergency. Officials want to remind people that high tide at 5 p.m. may make roads there impassable. A person is dead after a stabbing on Rose Hill Road in Fayetteville. Police say they found a person stabbed inside a home around 11 o'clock last night. Police say the two relatives were fighting before one stabbed the other. We are working to learn their identities. Next on Fox 50, the changes Wake County school leaders are making to keep kids safe during emergencies.
And of course, watching Erin in the latest advisory, it has weakened a little bit. And of course, it's moving a little more slowly. I'll show you what the impacts will be here and to our coastline.
And while we're talking about the coastline, evacuations underway on Hatteras Island. We are going to show you some live cameras along the coast as the area prepares for the effects of Erin.
And a man killed in a stabbing. Police in Fayetteville say it started as a fight between relatives. The WRAL breaking news tracker is there as officers have been on the scene for more than 6 hours.
And school safety vote. Wake County school leaders will decide possible changes to the district's emergency management response. The changes being discussed today, they say, are needed to keep your child safe. Thank you so much for joining us here on WRAL this morning. I'm Michelle McConaughey.
And I'm Laura Levine. So here's the latest on Hurricane Erin. The storm is a powerful Category 2 hurricane. And here we're expecting the storm to make it breezy later this week. The bigger impacts will be on parts of the Outer Banks where a tropical storm watch is in effect.
And WRAL has crews tracking Aaron in the studio, on the ground, and we are monitoring conditions using our Skycam network in the WRAL Live Center as well. First, let's get over to meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner in the WRAL Severe Weather Center.
New in the last 30 minutes, as of the 8 o'clock advisory, winds are a little slower, so it's beginning to weaken a little bit. Winds at 110, making it a Category 2 storm, but it is likely to fluctuate between Category 2 and 3 over the next couple of days as it moves past the coast of North Carolina. Right now, winds, it is moving. It is 720 miles south of Cape Hatteras, but only moving southwest at 7 miles per hour. The slower it moves, the more impacts it will bring to our coastline. So hopefully it will begin to speed up a bit as we get through the next few days. It's not likely to make landfall, but still will have big impacts, especially along the Outer Banks, 2 to 4 feet of storm surge, definitely some coastal erosion, some flooding, and some strong gusty winds. We take a look at what we're seeing here this morning. Some gray skies, a little bit of drizzle in a few spots, but most of us have been dry. There at the airport right now, it is 71, and our dew point sitting at 68. Our rain chances today are slim. If we're going to have any storms, it would be along and east of I-95 most likely, and just a small chance there because of the cloud cover that we'll see for most of the day. It stays cooler. High temperatures will be in the low 80s, and we do have more cool days in our forecast. I'll show you that coming up.
Here in the WRAL Traffic Center, we are beginning to see a few crashes pop up, a few more now. This is Rockaway Road, the northbound lanes. You can see there is a minor crash there, not causing any major backups here. And the next crash that we're following, we know this one is Falls of News that we've been talking about for quite some time. That one causing really a lot of backups. So let's take a look at drive times now. 13 minutes coming from Wake Forest, 12 minutes from Knightdale, 8 minutes from Apex. If you're heading out on the road, be sure to tune us in at 101.5 HD3.
As you're stepping here into the WRAL Live Center, I've essentially been looking at different cameras that we can access along the coast. This one right here from Hatteras, and you'll see that it's panning toward the right to show you, again, the waves. And before they were a little more aggressive than they are now, but this is something we're going to keep our eye on as Aaron approaches near the coastal area where they'll see those effects. This right here is just another camera on Rodanthe, and you'll see it's, again, panning to the right to show another, though beautiful day, the waves are getting a little more active there. We have our team that is out on the coast that'll be reporting. We have Eric Miller that's out there. We have Sean Gallagher as well, and they'll have reports later today on WRAL News. But this is just giving you kind of a mood setter of what is expected as our meteorologist looks at the effects that we could see at the coast.
All right, thank you, Chris. And receive alerts when the waves rise or the wind blows harder in the WRAL weather app. Get the power of our dual Doppler 5000 radar at your fingertips. Select your location and the type of alert you want to get so you are prepared. And turn on the push notifications to get up-to-the-minute information on Hurricane Aaron. And we're following some breaking news this morning. A Wilson man charged with murder after a shooting that killed a man. This morning, police announced the arrest of 25-year-old Anthony Atkinson. He is charged with shooting and killing 34-year-old Darrell Barnes III. The shooting happened just before 6:30 last night on Chase Road. Atkinson is being held without bond.
The breaking news, a person is dead after being stabbed in Fayetteville. This all happened late last night on Roseville Road here in the northern part of the city. Allie Catlabar is at the Fayetteville Police Department in the WRAL Breaking News Tracker. And Allie, police say that the victim and the suspect were related.
Yes, Laura, and we saw police gathering evidence for about 5 hours earlier this morning. And right now, police are going through that evidence, trying to figure out why a person stabbed and killed their family member. This is video from the WRAL Breaking News Tracker around 3 a.m. This is the house where officers found a person stabbed. That was around 11 last night. Police say the stabbing happened after a fight between the two family members. The person died on the scene. We're working to find out what led up to this stabbing, if any arrests have been made, and the identities of the people involved. Reporting in Fayetteville, Allie Catlabar, WRAL News.
And this morning, Wendell police are searching for a person they say ran away after a police chase and a crash last night. This is video of that scene around 9 o'clock last night on Wendell Boulevard near the Food Lion. Video from the WRAL from a viewer shows us police vehicles and fire trucks there with a crashed vehicle. Our team saw other vehicles not involved in the chase that were also heavily damaged. Riley Weber says she saw the crash while on her way to the grocery store.
The Tesla was actually in pieces. There was pieces all over the place. The Charger or the Hellcat was actually facing that way going down, and the other two cars involved were facing this way.
And we are asking the Wendell Police Department about what started this chase and who they are searching for. We are less than 1 week away from the start of a new school year in Wake County, and today school leaders have student safety on their minds. WRAL's Kelsey Coffey is at the school board headquarters in Cary to break down the changes district leaders are considering.
Tonight, school leaders will vote on changes to emergency protocol at your child's school. So they'll meet here at the district headquarters, and this will be Wake school leaders' last meeting ahead of the first day of school next week. These changes could mean new training and drills for students, school employees, and some emergency responders. This policy comes from the I Love You Guys Foundation. It sets 5 measures for emergencies: hold, secure, lockdown, evacuate, and shelter. Wake schools already had similar protocols in place, except the hold measure is new. Under both hold and secure, classes go on as usual, but school doors stay locked. WRAL education insider Emily Walkenhorst explains how this new protocol could help.
There's a little bit of confusion in their current emergency response protocol where, some of the rules for code red and code yellow can be kind of similar. And, maybe there's a little bit of a gap between them that really needed to be explained. And they think that this new protocol will help explain some of that.
The school system would not be paying this foundation to use their protocol, but school leaders will make their final decision tonight at 5:30. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News in Cary.
New data shows Wake County yellow bus routes will be fully staffed again this year. Hundreds of students didn't have an on-time ride to school bus because of a driver shortage. Now the school system will have a little more than 600 drivers. The county raised bus driver pay to at least $20 an hour. And that's more than most counties. The district also has a full-time recruiter for bus drivers.
Apex Police has called off a large-scale search for this wanted man. Officers spent much of the day yesterday searching for him. Police say officers were trying to arrest him in connection with sex crimes when he ran off. Sky 5 shows law enforcement searching the area around Lufkin Road and East William Street. If you have any information on where that man may be, call Apex Police.
The Durham City Council approved a new Wi-Fi program last night. The program gives certain people internet hotspots for free. It's meant to help people who can't afford internet. You will start getting the hotspots as early as next month. All you have to do is apply and prove that you need the help.
President Donald Trump pushing for a meeting between Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky and Russian President Vladimir Putin. Trump met with Zelensky and European leaders at the White House yesterday. Trump says he plans to set up a direct meeting between the warring countries. He then wants another meeting with him in it. After yesterday's meeting, he called Putin to discuss the arrangements, and Trump says, quote, everyone is very happy about the possibility of peace for Russia and Ukraine.
Breaking news, the Air Canada flight attendant strike is over. The union representing the flight attendants says that it has come to a tentative agreement with the airline. About 10,000 flight attendants had been on strike since Saturday. They were demanding higher wages. There's no word yet on the details of the final agreement. Union members will need to vote on it to make it permanent. Well, school supplies cost. Back to school is already expensive and tariffs are making it worse. 5 on your sides, Keely Arthur explains where the best deals are to keep you on budget.
Plus, the huge Powerball up for grabs. No one matched the winning numbers last night. The new jackpot for tomorrow night's drawing, that's the biggest we've seen all year. We'll tell you how much.
Plus, you're taking a live look over Carolina Beach right now. A gloomy start to the morning on the beach as we track Hurricane Aaron. Although we won't see a direct hit, we will feel some of the effects. Meteorologist Elizabeth Gartner explains where wind gusts will go above 30 miles per hour.
8:43. We're dealing with cloudy skies this morning. 71 in Wilson. A little breezy there, too. You can see the whirligigs spinning around there. We have a northeasterly wind that's helping to bring in some cooler air off the Atlantic. And so that's going to keep our temperatures down for today. 71 in Durham, 73 in Fayetteville. It's possible that we would see a few breaks in the clouds late today, and a few isolated storms could pop up in our eastern counties. But for the most part, we're just going to deal with some cloud cover. Today, Tuesday, 30%. Wednesday and Thursday, it's a 20% 50% chance of some isolated showers. Mostly what we'll see here from the impacts of Aaron would be just some breezy conditions. We're going to see minimal impacts today. Feels nice and cool during the afternoon. If you're looking for some outside exercise, temperatures will be in the low 80s.
Here in the WRAL Traffic Center, there are 4 crashes across Wake County that we're keeping our eyes on right now. The latest one I want to get to here is a crash on Glenwood Avenue on the westbound lanes of Ebenezer Church Road. As you can see, though, this one isn't causing any major backups or delays on Glenwood Avenue just yet, so something to just be mindful of. Of course, if you're heading out on the roads, be sure to tune us in on 101.5 HD3.
And we, of course, are staying on top of the impacts on the Outer Banks as Hurricane Aaron moves across the Atlantic. This is a live look from Hatteras in the Outer Banks right now. Evacuations underway for residents, which started just about 45 minutes ago for visitors, which started yesterday. Rip currents are expected to be one of the main effects that we'll see from Aaron here in North Carolina. Dozens of people were rescued from rip currents along the coast yesterday. Wrightsville Beach Ocean Rescue says they rescued 60 to 70 people. The National Weather Service shared this video of the rip currents there yesterday. Most rescues happened between noon and 5. Well, family is expected to spend hundreds of dollars on new school supplies this year, and they have a new factor to contend with: tariffs. 5 on Your Side's Keely Arthur shares just how much more your child's back-to-school necessities could cost and what you can do to keep your budget in check.
According to the U.S. Chamber of Commerce, tariff rates on typical back-to-school items went from 5% to 18% this year. And as we know, those costs typically get passed on to the consumer. Well, here's how you can save some money and take some power back. First, shop your supply cabinet. Your family probably already has plenty of folders, pencils, and backpacks laying around and ready to be used. While your child may not have the trendiest item, they will be making a more environmentally and economically friendly choice. Next, remember our viewing area is very generous. Check with your district for supply drives. For example, this Saturday in Fayetteville, Big Irv Barbecue and 910 Sweets will host a book bag and school supply giveaway starting at 1 p.m. And shop around. You can save a lot of money just by going to the right store. This year, 5 on Your Side went to 6 stores and compared prices of the same items. Dollar Tree and Target offered the most inexpensive supplies. Get this, a 24-pack of Crayola crayons is $2.30 on Amazon, but just 50 cents at Target and Walmart. While we don't want to become too dependent on AI, it can help in a pinch. For example, it told me that I could find good deals on colored pencils at Target and Staples for 99 cents. Keely Arthur, 5 on Your Side.
Today, Wake County schools are giving an update on what you and your student can expect this year with school meals. That's at 9:15 at Lake Myra Elementary in Wendell. They'll explain how you can add money to your child's meal account, how to apply for free and reduced price meals, and how to request meal account refunds. In June, the school board voted to increase the price of school meals by 25 cents per meal for the upcoming school year. This price increase is the 4th increase in 4 years. Well, you still have a chance to be a multi-millionaire. No one won last night's Powerball lottery drawing, so the jackpot is up to $643 million. The next winner could walk away with a cash prize of over $290 million. Next drawing is Wednesday. Boy, well, we love that money, right? All right, Dirty Dancing returns with a new look and a horror movie from the perspective of a dog.
This is so interesting. Let's take a look at what's trending this morning. There will be a new way to experience the hit film Dirty Dancing, the movie, getting its own live experience. There will be a band and singers performing the familiar songs from the 80s hit. Dirty Dancing in concert will tour more than 100 cities in North America and Europe. That's starting next year. Please tell me you've seen
Dirty Dancing is like top 10 favorite movies for me,
okay.
Honestly. And if the lift, the iconic lift.
I've had the time of my life. That song, oh my goodness.
Yes, I'll be there. I want to see that, okay? Well, here's a unique take on the horror genre. We're getting our first look at the movie Good Boy. This film follows the experience of a dog's experience inside creepy haunted houses. The movie hits theaters on October 3rd. I don't know about this one, Michelle.
I I mean, it's interesting, right? Because, like, you think of the humans, experience with horror, but then you don't think about the pets and the dog and what they're scared of. They're scared of lightning. What else are they scared of?
I don't know if I'm going to enjoy seeing a puppy afraid.
I don't know. It's going to be interesting. All right. Well, Deepak getting some country flair later this year. Walker Hayes just announced a show coming to the Triangle in November. You might know him for that viral song a few years ago about Applebee's. Tickets go on sale this Friday. Hayes will be joined by Shane McAnally, another country singer as well. Very cool. Well, the Tar Heels practiced on home turf for the first time this season, and they were joined by some very special guests.
What do you think, guys? Can you break us down? Woo! Say 1, 2, 3, heels. Can we do that? All right, here we go. Scream it, guys. All right, good. You got it.
1, 2, 3.
Heels! Thank you. All right, here we go.
Oh, I love it. That was
sweet.
Wish Kid Noah. You saw there that huddling up with Coach Bill Belichick and the team. Noah has battled a heart condition his whole life. Make-A-Wish Eastern North Carolina and UNC Athletics recently entered a partnership to provide Wish Kids the opportunity to meet and get to know athletes.
It's an amazing organization.
We need it, okay?
Yes, yes.
Well, people are opening their hearts and pets, finding homes during this month's Clear the Shelters event titled Acres Rescue and Adoption is helping animals across Hoke and Cumberland counties for permanent homes. To learn more about this and other shelters or local events, go to WRAL.com/shelters.
All right, let's get back over to meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner. Not only are we checking out the weather here today, we're also checking out what's going on with Aaron as well.
Right now, it is sitting north of the Bahamas. It's moving fairly slowly, 7 miles per hour, and has begun to weaken a little bit more in the 8 o'clock advisory. Winds are down to 110, so it is gradually weakening. It is likely to sort of bump between Category 2 and Category 3 over the next couple of days as it moves past North Carolina. Right now, it's 720 miles southeast of Cape Hatteras, moving northwest at 7 miles per hour. The slower it moves, the more impact it has, of course, as it just sits more slowly in one spot, but likely to pick up some speed here, and then eventually it gets kicked out into the Atlantic after it moves past Cape Hatteras. And the main timeline for this is going to be late Wednesday night into the day on Thursday. Because it's moving so slowly, that timeline is, of course, slowing down just a little bit. Tropical storm watch for the Outer Banks, and so we're looking at the potential for winds gusting 40 to 60 miles per hour. The winds may not be the biggest deal already. The coast of North Carolina is seeing high rip current danger, and as we talked about just a few minutes ago on the newscast, Wrightsville Beach in particular has pulled dozens and dozens of people out of the ocean with rip currents just in the last day or so. So rip current risk, heavy surf, beach erosion. We'll also end up seeing, of course, not only the heavy surf, but some storm surge, and that could cause flooding. 2 to 4 feet of storm surge possible along the Outer Banks. Parts of Highway 12 could become impassable, and of course, those tropical storm force gusts. Around here today, a very quiet day, lots of cloud cover. We have a northeast breeze that wedges up against the mountains, and so this is a wedge pattern or a cold air damming pattern. Temperatures will be cooler today. Lots of cloud cover to start with. As we get into the afternoon, there might be a few holes in the clouds, but along and east of I-95, we could see a few isolated storms develop. Most of us won't see a whole lot of rain, but there were some sprinkles earlier this morning, and that's pretty typical with this particular pattern. 30% chance of some showers and thunderstorms this afternoon, but again, most of that will be in our eastern counties. Gray skies here at the airport, 71 degrees our temperature, and our dew point 68. Around town, highs are cooler today in the low to mid 80s, so that's going to feel nice and comfortable. Our normal high is 89, and as we look ahead through this week, our temperatures remain below normal. As a matter of fact, we've only seen one 90-degree day this month, which is highly unusual for August. It's a little warmer for tomorrow. Of course, we're looking at mainly Wednesday night and Thursday for any impacts from Aaron here. The only thing that we'll likely see is some gusty winds anywhere from 20 to around 35 miles per hour.
Elizabeth, thank you. Before we go to break, here are a look at the winning lottery numbers, and we'll get another check on weather and traffic next.